Okay, well, that was a bit of a bad start, but we'll
Sure.
just start now. Welcome to FTV Sports. This is an impromptu reaction show on the news leaking out today that Daniel Ek, the Swedish millionaire owner of Spotify, is going to team up with Thierry Henry, Dennis Bergkamp, and Patrick Vieira to launch a takeover bid for Arsenal Football Club. Joining me this afternoon is Jay. How are we doing, Jay?
I'm all good, mate. Yourself?
Not bad, not bad. And a familiar face in Azzy. How are you this afternoon?
Very well, mate. Very well. Looking forward to this show. Sounds like a bit of good news after the glum week that we've had. So looking forward to that.
Absolutely. So if you want to start us off, Azzy, give us your thoughts on the news.
Mate, to be honest with you, I think, they say that until it's not concrete, you don't want to believe in it. But I think as fans, we've been starved of, good ownership for so long. I think it's just automatically, the moment that tweet came out, you just want to believe that this is going to happen. And now the fact that with the news today that he's bringing three of the biggest legends this club has seen with him, it can only put your stock a bit up, believe that this might be happening. Now, one thing I don't understand, or one thing I'm not really sure of, if Vieira, Henry, and obviously the boys are putting their money in as well for the club, or is it something that they're coming up as a replacement for, say, someone like a Venai or a Edu as a backroom staff for this guy? So yeah, it's good. I'm looking forward to these things, but to be honest with you, I'm quite excited. I mean, I really can see it happening. It's just how we manage to get these conkeys out. That's the next step for us now.
Yes, I agree with you there. The biggest problem we've got with our owners is how do you get them out? Because if they don't want to sell, it's all good and well coming up with the money, but if they're not willing to sell, you can't force the sale. So unless there's some form of hostile takeover, but I don't know if they can do that because none of them are technically on the board. So it's not like they can force it through. That's the issue. That's our issue now.
What I would say is, if it was ever a time to sell, now.
Now, like the Cronkies can now make their money and run. They can literally go, right, we want 2 billion. If he can put that money up, he's already like what the Cronkies paid about 1 billion, 1.2 billion, wasn't it? They paid for Arsenal, and I, to be honest, at that time I was not impressed with the Cronkies. I wanted the red and white company, the Usmanov, to get in because he sounded more like a fan than a businessman, although he was worth billions as well. But you looked at the Cronkies and they moved the stadium from one state to another, an entire team. You knew that he wasn't interested in the club. He wasn't interested in our values, the class that we've always displayed in the way that we've been run, the way that we've done things. You knew he was just going to milk it until he could basically shut up shop and run. And I think this is now their shut up shop and run moment. Because if they do stick around, you're looking at possibly a relegation fight in the next couple of seasons with the amount that they're not investing in the club.
Yeah. I think as well, it's all, nothing's confirmed yet, but I think the news is positive. It's we know there's someone out there that loves the club, along with three legends who absolutely love the club, and it's encouraging. And with the fans planning more protests, which I believe is on the 2nd and 6th of May.
Yeah, there's a couple of us from work that are actually going down to the 2nd of May one. So like we finish work at, I think it's 8 o'clock in the morning, the day of that protest, and we're literally going home, getting changed, and heading up to the stadium. So we'll be up there pretty early. But I think we have to keep the pressure on.
We've seen protests before.
I was thinking. Sorry, Tony.
Yeah, we've seen protests before, but nothing quite like what we saw on Friday. And I think if we, as fans, can just keep going until, I don't know, something happens. I mean, but this is a start. And this news is the start. I think also with the pressure, who knows?
Yeah, with the protests, I think if the fans want to show that they're together. I think what you really need is, if Chelsea hold a protest, is to have a load of Arsenal, Tottenham fans turn up and show their support as well. If there's one at Tottenham, get all the fans there. Doesn't matter whether you support the club or not. We need to show that these owners don't run football. We do. And absolutely. Without us, because it's nothing. And I saw photos from the Arsenal protest. There were Chelsea fans, there were United fans, there were Liverpool fans that had shown up to show their support. So we're all in the same boat with the owners.
It's the whole football fan thing. So yeah.
So this is no longer. Oh, sorry.
I mean, I was just gonna relate to what you guys were saying in regards to the protests. I was just thinking, like, in order to get them out, I mean, this is the perfect time. I mean, you know, the owners know they can't do anything now that will turn the fans back onto their side. They can pump money in, they can think, but when there's no fan connection with the supporters, and Arsenal's always been based on a supporters club. Now, from we've had from the Wenger era and everything, where how Wenger was with the fans, you know, and to the kind of players that we had, they were with the fans. Now, when we've got the three of the biggest, fan favorites to come out and join alliance with a guy who's willing and saying that he's an Arsenal fan to buy the club, it can only be a good thing. But I think the stock of Kroenkes will fall. I think it will fall because of the emergence of this the Super League that had failed, and secondly, the way the climate is at the moment. This is the only time he's going to get the money that he's wanting for this club. I don't think there's going to be anybody else that will put that kind of money down, that what he's actually asking for him not to sell. And I think the only way we can do it as well is to hit their pockets. You know, when the new season comes out, the merch and things like that, that is where the stocks are. Because don't forget, we're the only club this year to put out how many kits?
Yes, about 18, something silly like that, wasn't it? With all the training kits.
We merged with one of the biggest brands in US to sell unlimited edition kits for over 130, 150 £150. That is absolutely ridiculous for a working man and a sported this club all his life.
Yeah, but but that was always the aim of the Kroenkes. It was to turn Arsenal into a franchise where, in America, they don't follow clubs, they follow players, and that's what Kroenke wants to create in Europe. I have no doubt in my mind he was at the forefront of this Super League. It was just that Real Madrid were like, well, we're probably the most prestige team other than Liverpool that were in that lot. That just had the balls to go, right, I'll be the president of it. I'll take all of the flack because I don't care what anyone else says. And Kroenke would have been that guy behind him pushing and getting everyone else involved. And of course, you look at all of the owners involved, most of them are American. So they're all there going, hold on a minute, like, we're going to have an NFL style franchise here. Yeah, I'm in on that. Look how much money they make. They call it a World Series, yet they're the only country to take part in it. It's all about branding, and that's all they ever cared about. So to have Eek come in, you don't become a billionaire by not being a smart businessman. But could he bring back some of the soul, some of the class? I'd say so.
It's the fact as well that he's European. Football's just as big in Sweden than it is here.
He'll understand the game.
Yeah,
he'll understand the game. He'll understand the fans.
Absolutely.
Obviously, he's not tweeting out, "I want this club," just to sit on it. He's like built Spotify. This isn't I don't think this is a PR stunt. I think the only thing that they're missing out of that sort of announcement is Ian Wright, because you throw Ian Wright in. I think then you've not only got all of the fan favourites there, but you've then got a lot of clout when it comes to Arsenal's reputation, because you've got four of the biggest players there, right there, telling you, right, we want you out. They've all said it, but now you've got them in a group together trying to take over the club. I think at that point, Kroenke has probably got to look at it and go, now is actually my best moment to leave, because I can leave, no one will notice that I'm gone, and I will have made a fortune.
Yeah,
See what I was going to say. See, regards to Righty, I think Arsenal use him perfectly. I think they've got 3 of the biggest names to go along with this guy. Now, what Righty is very good for is when there's a massive announcement, they put Righty in forefront of the club. They start doing interviews. You start getting, these merchandises, and then he starts mingling around with the club a lot more. Like just take an example when Aubameyang signed his contract. You saw Righty outside the stadium. You saw him in the stadium. You saw him, doing interviews with other strikers like Lacazette and Xhaka's and all these guys. So I think Righty, they use him perfectly when it comes to, because he's just that character.
You know what I mean? He's great for PR. There is no doubt about that.
And this is why I think the voice, sorry to cut you off, Jace. When he put that tweet out, Kroenke out, was a massive, massive statement. And for one of the biggest and one of the biggest stars of this club, to this day, a true fan of this football club, that doesn't go unheard of. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's read that.
Yeah, you.
Oh, is he gone? Are you with us, Jay? Oh, I'll butt in then. What I want to ask is, say if we didn't qualify for the Champions League, we lost Europa, would that be the nail in the coffin? Would he then actually think, there's no Europe next season, and this guy's offering me this amount of money, I'm gone? And that, for me, if that did happen, and if that was the case, that would be as big as a victory as maybe the Invincibles, as far as Arsenal Football Club is concerned.
Mate, absolutely. Do you know the thing is, if for any reason, let's just say we didn't get Europe, I think his stocks will fall, and maybe he might even drop that level of the value that he's looking for the club, because he tried to put us in the Super League when he knew we had no chance. He knows he's not. The thing is, he's not stupid. He's a businessman. He knows. Look, the moment Arsenal don't qualify for the for even Europa next year, let alone win the Europa League this year, he knows his stock's going to fall massively. Now, it's weird that all these things are coming out, these tweets are coming out, and what I just by listening to this, news stories, and obviously just speaking with you guys, off camera and stuff like that, it just makes you believe that this could be the perfect option. And I think he might also be looking now himself to say, this is the time. I think if we're gonna go, this is gonna be the time we go. Now, let's not forget, he's the second richest owner in the Premier League. If you put his wife's money in to with him as combined, he's the richest owner in football, because his wife owns Walmart.
Yeah.
He is the richest, and it makes you. It saddens you though, doesn't it? Like how selfish you can be as a club owner, where you don't look at the values of a club, you don't look at the traditions of the club, you don't even think of fans. Nothing but money merchants. That's what we are. That's what we are to them. And I don't think there's no turning back. I think this is the time now that he will sell. And I think, and one thing I wanted to ask you boys, do you think this will be the best time for Dangote to jump in as well? Or do you think we should just get Daniel?
Some kind of consortium. Because I even this morning on social, I even said, what about Matthew Flamini? You could have Daniel Ek that can manage the business side of things. Then you got Flamini who can manage the football side of things. And I think that would work. That would be quite a nice little blend, and I think it would work. This Aliko, he's gone a bit quiet, and I don't think I think he'd want to be a sole owner. Then
can you do a joint ownership though? Do you think?
It's all based off of how many shares you've got within the company. So a majority owner is someone who's got the most shares, which is what the Kroenkes are. It's how they started off with something like 2% of the shares, and then just went around buying up more and more until they got enough to basically be the owners and have full control of the club. So that's another option that they've got. They can sell up shares, but then keep a hold of them and just have no say and just still make money. That's an option. But the problem we have is Josh Kroenke has already come under fire for saying we've got no intention to sell. And if you've got no intention to sell, then then it's going to be extremely tough to get them out. Which is why I'm questioning how are they going to do it, because it's all good and well putting the bids in.
Jay, when you disappeared before, I asked Mazzy, I said, what if we didn't qualify for the Champions League, didn't win Europa, and that would be you think of how much money you're missing out there, and you've got a guy that's offering a certain amount. Would that be the nail in the coffin to see Kroenke go?
Yeah, I think that would be enough, because there's no way that we can afford to buy anyone, because the club is not invested in. But we're not going to be able to attract players. Our merch sales will go down. I still think that we should be boycotting anything Arsenal in terms of branding completely until the Kroenkes are out, and hit them as said in the wallet. You've got to hit them in the wallet, and not making the TV money from European football, be it Champions League or Europa. Sitting 10th in the table. That means next season Sky are probably going to look at it and go, well, do you know what? We've got X amount of games to choose from. Arsenal just fall down the pecking order in terms of those games that they want to pick and show. It'd just be your big derbies, I think, that you'd end up seeing. BT might pick up a couple here and there, but I think you'll see us a lot less. You'd see more of West Ham, you'd see more of Leicester, more of Everton. And to be honest, I prefer watching those teams at the moment. They play more exciting football than we do. It's more entertaining. So we've gone from being an entertaining, watchable club to just mediocre. Yeah, that's it. I want to wrap this up pretty soon. So in conclusion, this is positive. We can all agree this is positive news. It's going to get us excited. Nothing's confirmed yet. So if it happens, we all agree it's going to be, an ideal situation that they take over. Yeah,
we can all agree on that.
Yeah, if they take over and then give Armoury, Bergkamp, Vieira, even as you said, Tony, Flamini, and Righty positions high up within the club, though their winning mentality, their philosophy, their class will just filter down.
Yeah, absolutely.
But would you keep on Arteta?
I'd give
as an owner. Put yourself in the owner's position. Would you keep Arteta?
Yes, but I would give him the resources he needs, because you've got to remember, he's gone from working with the likes of Aguero, De Bruyne, to Xhaka. And, that is a drop in class. I can see the philosophy that Arteta wants, but the problem is he hasn't got the quality of player to execute it. And the players that do have that quality are being run ragged and are now burnt out.
Yeah. Azzy, any final words on the whole takeover situation?
Mate, you know the thing is, like, as I said earlier, when the first tweet came out, and it came out literally on the day when clubs started dropping out of the Super League, and when I saw that, I just thought, you know what, everybody's trying to get a little dig in. All these rich people trying to put their names in the hat to excite the fans and say, oh yeah, because anybody can write on a tweet, oh, I've been an Arsenal fan all my life. But as you see the story building, and then you start seeing a lot of names being popped up, and the pace is gathering. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's always an exciting moment. I mean, this is almost, to me, it actually feels like we're about to sign to Haaland. That's how much of an excitement kind of thing is hitting me like that, because I just want an owner who interacts with the club, the fans, who can keep the values of this club. Because I don't want to see Arsenal fall down the pecking order. We are still the third. Let's not forget, we are still the third biggest club in this country. We are 8th on in the list of the most prestige clubs. Now, let's be real honest. Look, he's not the most wealthiest man, but if he can bring back the values, the fans, and if he can get us to where we need to be, I'm all for it. He's what is he worth? He's worth about 3.7 million pounds, £1 billion. Sorry,
4 billion dollars. I think is what it is. So about 3.3 billion pounds.
I mean, listen,
something silly. It's still silly money.
If he puts in, let's say he puts in £2 billion, it's not like he'll go hungry for the next year. Do you know what I mean? He's still got the time. But my thing is,
as you said, he's just put Spotify prices up by £1.
Mate, that's what it comes down to. On the 30th, mate, do you know Spotify in general is worth 54 million, or I think 54 million US dollars? That's a lot of money. Do you know what I mean? As well, I mean, or $1 billion it is at the moment, and now they're putting their prices up. And when I saw that email that I received this morning to say that the price is going up on his work, it makes me believe even more that there could be some truth in this, because this guy's trying to get his stocks up to say, you know what, I've got the money. Do you know what I mean? We just need the backing to get these boys out so I can come in. And let's not forget, he's only 38 years old. He's 38 years old, man. Do you know what I mean? So the younger the owner.
So that would put him in the same generation as us in terms of fans. So he's obviously seen, he's watched us grow. He's watched us fall. He's been there. He's seen Naeem from the halfway line, as much as I hate that goal. But he's experienced the highs and lows that we have. If he is an Arsenal fan, and I think that alone just tells you he understands the fans, and that it's that connection that we need back again.
And that's why I believe that tweet came out, because he wouldn't randomly put that tweet out. That's when that tweet came out to say, do you know what? If they want to sell now, I'm ready to buy. And Kroenke, if this video goes viral and everybody gets to see it, you know what I mean? This is what we always talk about: sharing this content, sharing this video. If this goes, and just one word for Kroenke, this is your time to sell up, give us our club back. Do you know what I mean? And just get the hell away from this club now. We don't need you anymore. Do you know what I mean?
On that note, I think we'll probably leave that there. Before we do go, there was news last night as well, wasn't there, with Alan Shearer and our very own Thierry Henry, who we've been talking about, has entered the Hall of Fame, first two players into the Premier League Hall of Fame. So, quick word on Henry, because that's going to be discussed to Gunslingers tomorrow. But while we're here, we'll have a little brief say on it. 30 seconds as he go.
Mate, to be honest with you, I'm just, please. Sorry, guys. Sorry about that.
That's right.
To be honest with you, mate, listen, I'm not too sure about Alan Shearer, but, mate, Thierry Henry, definitely. I'm so happy for him, that. I mean, I was watching certain things on tweets and stuff where they were saying why is Henry there? It should be the likes of Lampard, because he scored a lot more goals from midfield, or, Cantona's and Roy Keane's. But, mate, listen, Henry, I'm absolutely chuffed for him. And I think this is the perfect time for Henry to come back into this club. Do you know that?
Yeah, definitely. I don't think you could have got two more of the perfect strikers in as the first two. Shearer, all-time Premier League record holder still, I believe. Thierry Henry, club record, top scorer 4 seasons, which is a record in itself. Both of them just ooze class. They loved their clubs that they played for. I don't think you could have asked for two better representatives for the first Hall of Fame entries.
Yeah,
that's just my 2 cents on that one. Just perfect.
And I absolutely agree. Just before we do go, this comment, we've got to give him a mention. I believe this is from Amondi. You'll see him later on Studs Up. Please say some words on Spurs for jokes. So, any words before we go on Spurs' failings last night?
Spurs were Spursy yesterday. That's all you can say. They were Spursy, and I think Mourinho is still in charge.
I'm sure Mourinho's sitting there like.
Well, the way that they played, I did think it looked like a Mourinho setup. It was ridiculous how far back they were playing and letting City dominate them.
The most shocking thing about it was 0-0 for 81 minutes. That was the amazing.
Do you know what? Game. Do you know what? I thought that they were going to pull an Arsenal like we did against United, where we were dominated for the full 90 minutes, the full extra time, and then just win it on penalties. I honestly thought that was how that was going to go, because City were just so unlucky. So unlucky. The amount of chances they created, it was ridiculous. But the better team won. So
And we'll see what the Paxton Road TV boys will say about that, because they're going to be live at 8 o'clock tonight as well to discuss that game. So that will be fun to watch. Anyway, Azzy, thanks for joining me. Jay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And let's just hope it happens. Let's just hope it happens. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, all the good stuff, and we'll see you soon.